hear people say that shame is not a good motivator. But those people are not only stupid, but wrong. Shame is one of the greatest motivators that there is. Now, I know people like to point to studies to prove this point and say that some scientist and or doctor that they never heard of from some university that they know nothing about did some study that they never read, and because of that there is data that shows that when people feel ashamed they're less likely to make a change. All of that is also nonsense as well. I don't give a fuck what statistics say. I don't give a fuck what the so-called scientists and or experts that you would like to quote have said on the matter. It is meaningless. I know that some people also say when they feel ashamed of the fact that they drink, it just causes them to drink more. Or when they feel ashamed of their weight, it just causes them to eat more food. But that is also stupid and a great misunderstanding of what it is that they are doing. They are not responding to the fact that they are truly ashamed of themselves. They are responding to the fact that they feel bad in general. And they're not trying to make the shame as a whole go away. They're trying to make that feeling in the moment go away. They never even get the chance to truly feel shame. They feel discomfort or displeasure or something other than happiness, and they immediately run to their little vices. The fats run to their cheeseburgers and their drive-through food and their Taco Bell and their DoorDash and all of that to consume as many calories as possible to get that little dopamine hit and let that unpleasant feeling in the back of their mind dissipate momentarily before they go back to being the fat asses that they were prior. The people who drink get the feeling in the back of their mind, oh, maybe I shouldn't be drinking so much, and they don't like that thought that they don't like, so they immediately grab their bottle of whatever the fuck it is, or their shot glass, or their beers, or whatever their drug of choice is. Same thing for the potheads, same thing for whoever it is that does anything that they know that they should not be doing. None of those people have ever truly felt shame. They have only felt mildly unhappy, and they do what it is that they always do and turn to their substance of choice, be that food, be that alcohol, be that weed, be that porn, be that hookers, be that women, be that whatever the fuck it is that floats their boat, to make that feeling go away because they can't stand to have any sort of thoughts that they don't like. That's how they wound up where it is that they are in the first place, running from unpleasant thoughts that pop into their mind. They've never gotten to the point where they truly felt ashamed of themselves. They've never gotten to the point where they truly had to look in the mirror and come to terms with the fact that they hate the reflection that is staring back at them. They never got to the point where they actually opened up their bank account and felt deep shame at the fact that they did not have an abundance of money or even the ability to pay for something, and have to come to the terms and the realizations that who they are is someone who has failed at life and made bad decision after bad decision that put them exactly where it is that they don't want to be. They have never actually felt that shame. They felt the little tinge of something in their mind saying this isn't the best, and they immediately ran from it. But if they had ever truly actually felt ashamed of themselves, if they had ever truly actually felt shame, they would not be able to continue on doing what it is that they have been doing, and they could not continue on being who it is that they have been being. When you are truly uncomfortable somewhere, it is impossible to stay there. Even when you are sleeping, if you wind up in some sort of uncomfortable position, you will toss and turn until you find some way to lay that's more favorable to your nerves and your brain and whatever the fuck it is that is responsible for understanding your level of comfortability while it is that you are in slumber. When you sit somewhere and you become actually uncomfortable, you move the fuck around until you find a position that you are better suited or more happy with, because you can't actually tolerate being uncomfortable. No one does. No one can. And this is true of all situations. Everyone who is where it is that they are is there because they are comfortable with being there. Fat people are comfortable being fat. Poor people are comfortable being poor. Depressed people are comfortable being depressed. Junkies are comfortable being junkies. If they weren't, they would make a change. And what will be the catalyst for that change is that discomfort. Or that shame, which is basically just mental discomfort, is when you feel ashamed of yourself, when you look at yourself and you truly hate what it is that you see, when you hate every single thing about who it is that you are, how it is that you act, and how it is that you think. Then you will not allow yourself to continue to be that any longer. It will be just like when you are sitting somewhere and you get the weird pain in your leg and you have to adjust immediately to make it go away. It will be just like when you get that feeling on your face that there's a bug or some shit there, and you just subconsciously smack at it to try and get it to go away because you can't tolerate that feeling. That is what shame is, and that is what shame will do for you. Should you feel shame for a very long time? No, it's a very, very low frequency, low vibrational state to be in, and you would like to avoid it. But that's the point. Once you need to feel it to know that you truly don't want to be there. It's like when people touch the frying pan. Once you touch the frying pan and you realize that it is burning, you will move your hand away immediately. You just don't keep it there like, this is uncomfortable and I really don't enjoy this. But that's what people act like it is that they are doing with their fatness or their brokenness or their whatever the fuckness, is they act like they're uncomfortable there. They act like they are displeased with themselves or they are ashamed of themselves, but they are not. That is all a facade. If they were truly, truly, truly uncomfortable, if they were truly ashamed, if they truly understood how badly they were failing at life, if they truly understood the detriment of their decisions, not only to themselves, but to everyone around them, if they truly understand that the fact that they choose to consume copious amounts of calories, despite the fact that it was distorting their body to cartoon-like proportions, and that was a disgrace to their parents, and it was an embarrassment to their siblings, and it was disrespectful to their own children, and it was offensive to their spouse, and it was harmful to everyone that they came in contact with because they had to experience their negative energy and all of their excess calories spilling out everywhere and fucking up the room and fucking up the environment and all of that stuff. And they had to truly sit there knowing that they were making the world a worse place in every single way with their actions. Same thing goes for the broke folks, the people who always need to borrow money, the people who are always stressed and spreading their negative energy everywhere because they're always complaining or in a bad mood or worried about some shit because they have bills coming up or something happens and they can't afford it, so they whine about it all the goddamn day and they make it their whole entire personality that eggs are expensive or groceries cost a lot or you don't know what it's like to be me and have to stretch to make things work and oh woe is me, everyone owes me something, I'm so entitled, please give me stuff so I don't feel bad but I don't actually want to work at it. And they're spreading that around everywhere and getting it on everyone, and it is an infection and it is a disease and it is harmful to society. And if they were truly, truly, truly ashamed of themselves, they would understand how greatly they were falling short, and that greatness of short falling, I don't know if that makes sense, but it is what it is. This is what I've said now. The greatness of short falling, I'm fucking sticking with it. The greatness of short falling was absolutely and completely unacceptable to everything as a whole. They would not continue to be able to live with that feeling. If people stopped telling everyone that everything that they did was okay, it's okay that you're not doing anything because you're feeling sad. It's okay that you can't get out of bed today because you have bad memories. It's okay that you're an alcoholic. Look at how your childhood was. It's okay that all you do is eat because you have a bad relationship with food and society's beauty standards are making you feel bad and it's okay and you shouldn't and all of this other dumb shit. And people were just able to accurately and truthfully speak to people and say, hey, you are fat and you are a failure and it's fucking disgusting and you need to do better. You are poor and you are a burden to the entire world and you need to stop being a procrastinator and so lazy and get your shit together and do something worthwhile because as of now you have no value. If you were to be able to say you are depressed because you are fucking your life up and you sitting there whining about that shit is pathetic as fuck, you need to get the fuck up and do something about it instead of sitting in bed bitching and popping your gay ass little prescription pills. You need to take the time to better your fucking situation. It is not okay to lay your ass in bed all day. It is not okay to walk around mopey all the time. It is not okay to be so dreary and down all the time and making everyone else depressed with your sad ass energy and your complaints. You are unpleasant to be around, and you need to do better. If people were able to actually talk to people like that and say, no, your addiction is not a disease. Your addiction is a choice. It is a stupid choice. And you are stupid for believing that it is a disease. You do not have genetics that made you go purchase and consume alcohol. You do not have genetics that made you go to random street corners to find someone selling meth so that you can smoke it, or heroin so that you can shoot it into your veins. This is not a disease. This was a decision. It was your choice. It was a bad choice. And every single time you continue to make the choice, you become stupider and stupider for doing something that every single person knows that you should not be doing, for something that you are fully aware is of detriment to you. If people were able, or if people had the balls to speak to people like that, instead of trying to placate anyone and being so compassionate by being a fucking enabler, then people would have to deal with the weight of their decisions. They would have to walk around feeling the shame that they so rightfully deserve to feel by being the person it is that they have chosen to be. And then they would have no choice but to fucking do something about it, because no one will tolerate walking around feeling that way forever. When you are in the middle of a field and it starts pouring rain, if you truly don't want to be wet, then you will run somewhere to try and find cover. It doesn't matter if you know where that cover is. It doesn't matter if you know which direction that you should go. You are not just going to stand there and allow yourself to be drenched from the downpour if you truly do not want to be drenched. I think I worded that properly, but whatever. Here it is that we are. If you truly did not want to be drenched by the rain, you would stop at nothing to try and find a way out of the rain. This applies to any and all situations. If you light somebody on fire, even if they claim that they want to die, they will run around screaming and trying to figure out a way to put it out, because it is not something that they can tolerate. That is shame. That is what shame is. That is your ego being lit on fire. That is your pride being lit on fire. That is your soul being lit on fire. It is an intolerable feeling which demands that you respond to it. So every single time that you start feeling bad about yourself, and then you go find some sort of coping mechanism to make yourself feel better and make that temporary little feeling go away, you are shortchanging yourself of getting to the point where you truly, truly fucking hate yourself. Where you truly hate your decisions is where you will start making different decisions, because once you get to a certain level of shame, of self-hatred, you are not going to be able to sit there and go through the drive-thru and order 48 tacos and 12 tubs of sour cream, or whatever the fuck it is that these giant people get from Taco Bell. You will not be able to do that, because you will not allow yourself to do it. You will hate yourself for doing it. You will hate yourself for trying to eat it. You will force yourself into a position where you have to make better choices, because you will feel like shit every single time that you don't. And you should, because if you are not where it is that you want to be, if you are super overweight, if you are an addict, if you are not in shape, if you don't go to the gym, if you don't make any money, if you can't pay your bills, if you've been depressed for months, if you can't deal with your anxiety, if you're fucking traumatized for forever, if you're an addict, I don't know if I said that already, you should absolutely be fucking ashamed of yourself, because those are all shameful things to be. And the key is not to try and figure out how to lessen that feeling. It is to lean into it and allow it to push you out of it. It is to lean into it and allow it to make you better yourself, to force you to not stay where the fuck it is that you are. Because as long as you can find a way to justify your situation, as long as you can find a way to justify the position that you were in, you will continue to be in that exact same position. As long as you can justify yourself that it's okay to skip workouts, or have these big ass meals, or not eat something healthy, or have some drinks at night, whatever the fuck, as long as you can justify to yourself that it's okay to put off going after the goals that you claim to have, you will continue to find reasons to do so, because you will feel okay about it. You will feel okay about saying tomorrow. It is not until you come to the acceptance and the realization that procrastination is a disgusting habit for disgusting disgusting people, and people who procrastinate should be disgusted with themselves. And that's exactly what you should think every single time you want to put something off. Whenever the thought pops into your mind that you're just going to do it tomorrow, the thought that should precede that thought is no. That's what bitches do. That's what pussies do. That is what low level worthless people do. And you are not a low level worthless person. So you are going to do that shit now. That is how it is that you should be, or the thoughts that anything that you are not supposed to do should inspire. You should shame yourself. Other people should shame you, because you will not want to continue to feel that shame, and you will change yourself. All of that little like, this hurt my feelings and it's uncomfortable and I'm sad that I heard this is not actual shame. That is just mild displeasure. That is bitch shit. But that is what it is that people run from, because people can't even deal with that level of thoughts. All of the people talking about shame wouldn't help them, or whenever they feel ashamed of something they do this, have never actually felt shame, because they are too fucking afraid of it, because deep down they are lazy and they don't want to put in the effort to actually change, which is why they try and fight that feeling off before it arrives, because they know, even they know, all of the people who sit there and say shame is a terrible motivator. No, if they truly felt ashamed of themselves, they would fucking do something about it.